Deep inside Death Valley National Park is one of the strangest mysteries in nature. A dry lake bed, a remote desert valley, and rocks that appear to move on their own. No humans pushing them, no animals dragging them, just heavy stones scattered across the desert floor, leaving long trails behind them. Some trails stretch for hundreds of feet. Some rocks even change direction. For decades, scientists and visitors asked the same question: how can rocks move across the desert by themselves? This is the story of the mysterious moving rocks of Racetrack Playa. Where is Racetrack Playa? Racetrack Playa is hidden deep inside Death Valley, far away from the park's popular tourist areas. Getting there requires driving down long, rough dirt roads through one of the most isolated places in California. There are no gas stations, almost no cell service, and miles of empty desert. Then suddenly, the landscape opens into a giant dry lake bed, flat, silent, empty. And scattered across the playa are rocks sitting at the ends of long trails carved into the ground. The strange part? The rocks actually moved there. The discovery of the sailing stones. People first noticed these mysterious rocks in the early 1900s. Heavy stones were found sitting far away from where they had been seen before. Behind them were smooth tracks in the desert floor, almost like the rocks had sailed across the playa. That's why they became known as the sailing stones. Some rocks had moved more than 1,000 feet, but nobody ever saw them move. There were no footprints, no tire tracks, and no signs that humans had touched them. Only the trails remained, and the mystery quickly became famous. Theories about the moving rocks. Before scientists discovered the answer, people came up with all kinds of theories. Some believed strong desert winds pushed the rocks. Others thought earthquakes or vibrations caused them to slide. Some even suggested magnetic forces or aliens. One idea came closer to the truth. Rare rainstorms sometimes cover the playa with a thin layer of water, making the surface slippery. But that still didn't fully explain how rocks weighing hundreds of pounds could move. For decades, nobody had proof. Because the rocks moved so rarely that almost nobody witnessed it happen. Why was the mystery so difficult to solve? Racetrack Playa made solving the mystery extremely difficult. The rocks don't move every day, or even every year. The perfect conditions have to happen at exactly the right time. Researchers could wait for months and see absolutely nothing. The area is also extremely remote, with harsh weather and no easy access. Scientists needed patience, cameras, and a little bit of luck. And finally, in 2013, they got it. The mystery is finally solved. In 2013, researchers placed GPS trackers on several rocks and installed cameras around the playa. Then, nature created the perfect conditions. First, rain covered the dry lake bed with a shallow layer of water. During the cold night, temperatures dropped low enough for the water to freeze. A thin sheet of ice formed across the playa. As the sun rose the next morning, the ice cracked into large floating panels. Then a light breeze began pushing the ice. Slowly, the ice pushed against the rocks. The slippery mud underneath reduced friction, and the stones began sliding across the desert floor. For the first time ever, scientists watched the rocks move in real time. The mystery had finally been solved. The rocks were moved by a rare combination of water, thin ice, wind, and perfect timing. The strangest part of the discovery. What surprised scientists most was how slowly the rocks moved. People had imagined giant storms violently pushing the stones across the desert. But in reality, the rocks moved only a few inches per second. So slowly that if you were standing there, you might not even notice at first. The mystery that confused people for almost 100 years was actually happening very quietly. Nature had been revealing the answer the entire time, just under extremely rare conditions. Why Racetrack Playa feels like another planet. Even without the moving rocks, Racetrack Playa looks unreal. The dry lake bed becomes covered in geometric cracks that stretch across the desert like a giant puzzle. Surrounded by mountains and silence, many visitors say the area feels more like another planet than Earth. And that's part of what makes Death Valley so fascinating. Inside one national park, you can find salt flats, giant sand dunes, colorful canyons, and a place where rocks appear to move by themselves. Protecting the playa. Today, Racetrack Playa is famous around the world, but the trails left behind by the sailing stones are fragile. A single set of footprints or tire tracks can damage the surface for years. That's why visitors are asked to respect the area and leave everything exactly as they found it, because every trail tells a story written slowly across the desert floor. For almost a century, Racetrack Playa kept one of California's greatest natural mysteries hidden in silence. Heavy rocks moved across the desert without anyone seeing how. And when scientists finally discovered the truth, the answer was even more fascinating than the mystery itself. Not aliens, not magic, not earthquakes, just nature working in perfect balance. A thin layer of water, floating ice, a gentle breeze, and perfect timing. The sailing stones of Racetrack Playa remind us that even in the quietest places on Earth, incredible things are happening all around us. Sometimes, the world's greatest mysteries are hidden in places that seem completely empty.